Hello, my name is Grover Welch. In this video, I'm using SPSS to run a repeated measures ANOVA on the chocolate and attitude over time dataset. Research question is, does consuming chocolate produce a statistically significant change in attitude across 4 points? My null hypothesis is that there is no significant difference in mean attitude scores across the 4 measurements: pretest, 5 minutes post-chocolate, 1 hour post-chocolate, and 4 hours post-chocolate. Formally, my alternative hypothesis is that at least one time point has significantly different mean attitude score from the others. I'm opening the repeated measures dialog box, and I'll rename the within subjects factor to time, enter 4 for the number of levels since we have 4 measurement occasions, and click add and define. So that's, I'm going to go right here to analyze. I went down here to general linear model. I went to repeated measures. When I open it up, I put time in as my factor. I put 4, and then I added it here. And then I went to define. I'm assigning 4 attitude variables in chronological order as they were. So I went attitude 0, 1, 2, 3. That's a baseline, and then 5 minutes, and then 1 hour, and then 4 hours. Once I did that, I went to EM means. Under the EM means, I moved time to my display means for. I clicked compare main effects. I went down here to confidence level interval adjustment, and I checked Bonferroni, and I hit continue. Under options, descriptive statistics, estimates of effect size, and homogeneity test. Make sure my significance level was at 0.05, and then I hit continue, and then I hit OK. When my results came up, my descriptive statistics are right there with each of my attitudes. My mean was 76.57, and my standard deviation is 6.381. My N across all 4 groups is 23. So the first thing I check is my Mauchly's test of sphericity. And this test determined whether the variances, the differences between all pairs of time points are equal. If the assumption is violated, I would use the greenhouse geyser corrected row instead of the sphericity assumed. Mauchly's equals, where is it? Mauchly's equals 0.860. My Mauchly's W is 0.860 with a degrees of freedom of 5 and a significance of 0.683. So my chi-square was 3.114. And my P equaled 6.683. Because P is 6.683, well above my 0.05, the assumption of sphericity is not violated, and I will use sphericity assumed row. Within my subjects effects row here, I'm reading from the sphericity assumed now. So the F equals 5.681 with 3 degrees of and 3 and 66 degrees of freedom, and P equaled my significance P equaled 0.002. Because P is less than 0.05, I rejected my null hypothesis. There is a statistically significant effect of time on attitude following chocolate consumption. The partial eta squared value is 0.205. And by Cohen's 1988 benchmarks, values of 0.01, 0.06, and 0.14 represent small, medium, and large effects, respectively. At 0.205, this is a large effect. Time accounts for approximately 20.5% of the variance in attitude scores. My pairwise comparisons. A significant F only tells me something differs. The pairwise comparisons tell me where all p-values are Bonferroni adjusted. My pretest versus 5 minutes mean difference of 7.304 points, and the attitude jumped from 76.57 to 83.87 after chocolate. Bonferroni P equals 0.003 right here. My pretest versus 1 hour, which is right here, number 3. The mean difference of 2.52 points, my P equaled 8.883. That's not significant. Attitude at 1 hour is statistically indistinguishable from the baseline. Pretest versus 4 hours mean, right here. Mean difference of 1.87 points. P equaled 1.0 to 1.00, and that's not significant. My 5 minutes versus 1 hour. So if I go here to level 2, my 5 minutes versus 1 hour is the same as what I'd set up above. Then my 5 minutes versus my 1 hour mean difference of 4.78 right here. P equaled 0.57. That's not significant with the Bonferroni. This comparison was significant at 0.10 with LSD, but conservative Bonferroni correction pushes it above that threshold. So if you see right here, it says Bonferroni. All right, and then my 5 minutes versus 4 hours, mean difference of 5. Oh, I just did that one. My 1 hour versus 4 hours down here. My mean difference is 5.44 points. My P equaled 0.27 right here. The attitude peak at 5 minutes was significantly higher than the 4 hour measurement. All right. And then my 1 hour versus 4 hours. Mean difference of 0.65 points. 0.65 points. My P equaled 1, and that's not significant. Attitude had leveled off by this point. All right. In summary, only 2 comparisons were significant. Pretest versus 5 minutes right here across, and then my 5 minutes to 4 hours. So my AP conclusion, okay, so I'm going to say Mauchly's test indicated that the assumption of sphericity was not violated. My chi alpha with 5 degrees of freedom was 3.114. My significance P value was 0.683. A repeat measures at ANOVA revealed a statistically significant effect of time on attitude. F 3 to 66 equal to 5.681 with a P of 0.002. My effect size was figured at equal to 0.205. Means were pretest mean 76.57, and it was a standard deviation of 6.38. At 5 minutes, it was a mean of 83.87 with an SD of 4.99. At 1 hour, my mean was 79.09 with an SD of 5.73, and at 4 hours, my mean was 78.43 with an SD of 66.07. Bonferroni adjusted pairwise comparison showed that attitude at 5 minutes was significantly higher than the pretest and the 4 hour measurement. No other pairs differed significantly. Pretest versus 1 hour, P equals 0.883, and pretest versus 4 hour, P equals 1.000. 5 minute versus 1 hour, P equaled 0.57, and 1 hour versus 4 hour, P equaled 1. Beyond statistical significance, this is a finding meaningful. I think the answer is yes and no, and both parts of that matter. The large effect size of 0.205 tells us this is not a trivial effect. Time and the chocolate intervention accounts for over 20% of the variance in attitude. That is substantively real. But the pairwise pattern tells a more cautionary story. The only significant boost occurred within the first 5 minutes. By 1 hour, attitude had returned to levels statistically equivalent to baseline. So the effect is real, but it's short-lived. So in practical terms, if a researcher or practitioner wanted to use chocolate to improve attitude in applied settings, classroom, therapy, workplace, they would need to act within that 5-minute window. That's a very narrow intervention opportunity. There's no control group in this design, so we cannot fully rule out alternative explanations such as novelty effects and retest patterns.